Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It is Color Me Badland back to share a couple of beautiful around the house bedtime celebrity fragrances. Of course, you well know by now, if you've seen any of my other videos, that I absolutely love long-lasting, affordable fragrances, especially celebrity fragrances. They always seem to find a place in my heart and in my collection. And by request of one of my viewers, I was asked to come on and share a Britney Spears fragrance. That particular fragrance that I was asked to come on and talk about, I do have in my collection, but I don't have it out for display. And so instead of me digging through fragrances in my closet, I decided to come on and talk about a couple of Britney Spears fragrances that I actually have on display that I love and enjoy that are in my collection. So if you're interested in finding out what fragrances I'm going to come on and share today on my recording and video, please continue to watch. Again, thank you for watching the video, viewing the video. Thank you for all of your love and support. If this is your first time tuning in and first time ever meeting me, greetings and salutations. Glad to meet you. I am Color Me Badland. I am a beauty professional, among many other things. And on our channel, we talk all things beauty. We talk about the fragrances that are in my collection, those that are on my wish list, those that are sent to me, samples, complimentary fragrances that were gifted to me down through the years that I still have in my collection. We also talk about natural skincare, a little bit about makeup. I love a beautiful lippy and a gorgeous eyelash. We'll talk about all types of hair, natural weave wigs, you name it. We'll talk about love, relationships, romance. We'll talk about a little bit about dating. We'll talk about family issues and faith. And anything else that you want me to come on and discuss on our channel. You have any questions for Dear Color Me, make sure you either comment below. It'll be down here somewhere. And you can also send me an email. You can also reach out to me on Instagram now. I'm not on there all the time, but I definitely will respond back to you. And if you follow me, I will follow you back. All right. So let's get into it. Again, I have two Britney Spears fragrances that I actually keep out on my display casing or my shelves. And I wanted to come on and share those because I had a viewer ask me about a Britney Spears fragrance. I think it's Fantasy Intense. I do have that fragrance somewhere in my collection, but it's not out for display. So what I did was decided to come on and talk about the ones that I do have out on display that I actually wear, that I actually use from time to time, that I love to wear around the house and for bedtime scents. Now, I've chosen to wear these fragrances as bedtime and around the house fragrances basically because they're a little bit more of a younger, they appeal to more of a younger audience. I'm a woman of a more mature age, and I like mama girl beast mode fragrances. These fragrances do last, these scents do last fairly long, anywhere between, on my skin, 4 to 6 and sometimes 8 hours, depending on what I've eaten that day, and also if I layer them before going to bed. Okay, so the first one that I wanted to come on and share, and let's see which one I have pulled up on my screen. I have Fantasy Intimate Edition by Britney Spears. So let's grab that one. And that is this one. I've come on before and shared my desire to have this in my collection. And then I found this, I think, I probably found this online. And I was really, really surprised at how gorgeous of a fragrance this really, really is. You can see by the detail in the bottle, the beautiful rose gold cap. It's got a dome top. You know, I'm a sucker for a dome top. I love dome topped fragrances. I have a lot of fragrances in my collection that have a dome top. Even if I don't wear the fragrances, I love fragrances with a dome top. I don't know why. But this is a really, really gorgeous scent, perfect for bedtime. Some ladies like to wear this out, and definitely that is your choice. This is just one of those types of fragrances that I wear around the house. I'm going to spray a little bit on. I don't have a fragrance on this morning, just to kind of get the vibe for this one. And then we'll go over the notes of what's in it. And then we'll move on to our next Britney Spears fragrance that I keep displayed out on my fragrance case. All right. So Fantasy Intimate Edition Britney Spears for Women. This main accord of this fragrance, it is as vanilla. It's heavy on the vanilla. It is definitely sweet. It is ozonic. It is musky. It's powdery. It is fresh. It is citrusy. It's fruity, white floral, and it has amber in it. And it is absolutely delicious. It's really, really beautiful. And I'm going to tell you something. I was extremely surprised at how beautiful it smells when you sniff it from the bottle. And I was also surprised on how good it smells on me. I've shared on several other videos before that normally if I choose a floral fruity gourmand fragrance, it has to have a little bit of oud in it for me, because that's the only way it's going to smell good on my body. That's the only way I'm going to enjoy the scent, period. I love a heavy fragrance. I love something that's going to stick to me like glue, and I love a great performer. And this one is beautiful, beautiful. So let's get into what they were thinking about when they created this gorgeous, extremely affordable celebrity scent. Fantasy Intimate Edition by Britney Spears. Again, it's a floral, fruity, gourmand fragrance for women. Of course, anyone who wants to wear this fragrance absolutely can. Fantasy Intimate Edition was launched in 2015, so it's been around for quite some time. Your top notes are lychee. I've shared on several other recordings that I love lychee in my fragrances. I love that note. I love the juiciness that lychee provides in fragrances. Absolutely gorgeous. You also get Italian lemon, which I absolutely love. You get a little bit of violet leaf. Okay. Your middle notes are what I love to call your heart notes in this fragrance. You get brown sugar. Okay. Ozonic notes. You get gannat, jasmine, which is one of my favorite white florals, and then lily of the valley, which is another one of my favorite white florals. Your base notes are vanilla, which I love, a creamy, sweet vanilla fragrance. You get white musk, heliotrope, and benzoin. And I think the heliotrope and benzoin is what allows this fragrance for me to last and last and last, because like I said, normally these types of fragrances don't last very well on me. You spray them for and then about 30 minutes to an hour later, you don't smell them anymore. This is not a fragrance that I will wear out during hot heat and weather, because like I've stated before, these types of fragrances don't perform very well for me in hot weather. So this is definitely a fragrance that I will wear in the fall, probably winter time around the house, and then also springtime, early spring, moving closer to summer. But once we hit that 80-degree mark, this would not be a fragrance that I will wear out. So you're definitely going to enjoy the sweet notes of this fragrance. I definitely think that the combination of the vanilla, the brown sugar, and the lychee is where they got me with this fragrance. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's sensuous. It's very, very flirty, very, very feminine, extremely girly. So if you just want something really, really dainty, light, very sweet and creamy to wear around the house or for a beautiful bedtime scent, I highly recommend adding Fantasy Intimate Edition by Britney Spears to your collection. All right. Now we're going to move on to our next fragrance that I've chosen out of my collection that's actually on my display case. Again, there was a viewer who asked me to come on and talk about fantasy, one of the fantasy fragrances, and the one that they asked me about, again, I do have in my collection somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. I'm sure it's put up somewhere. A lot of my fragrances that I don't actually wear, I keep them put up. And so that's probably one of them that I keep put up. And so I'm going to pull up the notes on this one that I do keep out, and that every now and again I actually spray out on and have enjoyed a couple of times. Just spraying on right before bedtime, wanting to smell really, really good, and just to enjoy that beautiful, beautiful scent during bedtime. And I found that her fragrances are absolutely gorgeous. I have a couple of others in my collection that I've enjoyed down through the years as well. One of them, while we're looking up the notes for this one, was Curious, way back in the day when that one was first launched. I had that one added to my collection. I wasn't that much of a Britney Spears music fan. I was aware of her celebrity, and I was aware of her music. One of my jams of hers is Oops, I Did It Again. So definitely I was familiar. But I was intrigued by the shape of the bottle, and we'll come on and share that fragrance a little bit down the line because it's one of my favorites of hers. And that's how I kind of got introduced to her fragrances and her collection. And I never really got into collecting all of them because, like I said, she wasn't my someone that was on my favorite celebrity list, but I love that song and I love her fragrances. So this particular fragrance that we want to come on and share with you that I keep in my collection and I keep it out on my display case is Midnight Fantasy Britney Spears for women. And of course, anyone who wants to wear this fragrance as well absolutely can. The bottles are almost identical. The shapes, the design on the fragrances, everything about the detail of these bottles are exactly the same. And I think that's why I have them displayed out together, because I love the way they look together. It looks like mommy, and baby. I just think that's cute. So I had them collected together, and I have them sitting together, kind of coordinated, color coordinated. And you know, I have issues. I make sure that all of my fragrances are color coordinated and, you know, all that good stuff. So anywho, this fragrance, which is absolutely gorgeous, you guys. This one again is Midnight Fantasy by Britney Spears for women. Wow, I haven't sprayed out on this in a while. Your main accords of this one, it is sweet. It's fruity. It has cherry. So if you love a cherry noted fragrance, and I think this was one of my first heavily noted cherry fragrances in my collection that I really fell in love with and actually wear. Okay. It has vanilla. It's powdery. It's nutty. It's floral, and it has almond in it. This is so gorgeous. And again, it has a little domey top. I've shared with you guys on several occasions that I love a fragrance with a knobby top. And let's get into what they were thinking when they created this one. This is an actual flanker, of course, of the original Fantasy by Britney Spears. This one is Midnight Fantasy. This one again is Midnight Fantasy by Britney Spears. This is a floral fruity fragrance for women. Midnight Fantasy was launched back in 2006. So this one has been around for a long time. And I've had this in my collection for quite some time, but I don't think I added this to my collection way back then. But it's definitely been around in my collection for a hot minute. The nose behind this fragrance is Caroline Sabas. You'll probably hear her name ringing throughout some of my recordings and sharings of my loves of fragrances, because she's the nose behind several of my favorite fragrances. Your top notes of this fragrance is plum, which really threw me away because I'm not a plum girl at all. I love plum notes in male fragrances and fragrances for men. But for me, I normally don't. But what they did with this fragrance and this plum is divine. So your top note again is plum. You got your sour cherry and raspberry. I'm real particular on my fruits because I told you before, a lot of fruity floral fragrances and fruity gourmand fragrances turn sour on me if they're not well put together fragrances. They did a bang up job on this fragrance, and there's nothing sour about this at all. Your middle notes of this particular fragrance, which I love to call your heart notes, are orchid, iris, and freesia. Very delightful. Then your base notes. This is what you normally get on your dry down of a fragrance. You're going to get vanilla, amber, and musk. They kept it really sweet. Very simple. Yeah, this is gorgeous. I would willing to say that this one, out of all of the ones that I actually have in my collection of hers, is probably one of my favorites. Midnight Fantasy is absolutely gorgeous. I've never actually worn this out in the evening time, but I've definitely, again, used this as a bedtime scent. You know, sometimes you just want to smell pretty going to bed. It makes you feel good. It helps you to sleep better. It helps you to relax from a long, stressful day. And it just helps you just melt down into the sheets and the covers. When you wake up, you can still smell a little bit of a whiff of whatever you applied on before going to bed at night, and it just makes things so much better. This is my favorite out of all of the fragrances that I have of Britney Spears in my collection. It is very girly. It is very feminine, but it has a little bit of sophistication and seduction in it. And I don't know if it's because of the almond and nutty note in this fragrance. It could be because they put a little plum in there. It slid a little plum in there and dipped it with a little bit of sour cherry and raspberry. But it's absolutely gorgeous. And I want to thank the viewer who made me dig in my collection and revisit my Britney Spears fragrances. This is absolutely gorgeous. I may even wear this today. Just something different. It's really, really exotic. It is a definite it could be in a category of a forbidden fruit fragrance. It's really, really tropical. It's mysterious. It's extremely appealing. I want to share a little bit of detail about these bottles. They have the Swarovski crystals embedded inside of them, and that's what I really, really love about these. And I have really cool lighting in my boudoir. And so when those lights are popping at night, you can kind of see a little bit of a twinkle bouncing off of the bottles. I'll bring it a little closer. And that's what I really like about these. They're very, very inexpensive and affordable, but I love the detail in the bottles. And then on top of that, the juice in these bottles are divine. So yeah, I'm going to actually move this to the front and give myself a little bit of night flower and exotic fruit action today. Mysterious and appealing. It is definitely a gorgeous, gorgeous scent. So I thought I'd come on and share two of my favorite Britney Spears fragrances from the Fantasy collection, and tell you that if you don't have these two fragrances in your collection and you love either a fruity gourmand fragrance, or you're looking for an exotic floral fruity fragrance for women, and you're looking for something really affordable just to wear around the house or at bedtime, these two are absolutely gorgeous fragrances, extremely, extremely affordable. If you do your research online, you can find these fragrances for really, really low prices. And I'm going to tell you something. Both of these fragrances are wafting in the air as I speak to you right this second. They last on my skin for about 4+ hours. I'm really, really hard when it comes to fragrances. Like I said, I've got to have oud. I need to have rose. I've got to have high-end fragrances that last on me. I got to have heliotrope, benzoin, amber. You name it, I need the heavy stuff. I need the good stuff. But these actually last on me. They're perfect for around the house and bedtime scents. And depending on your body chemistry, you may be able to rock these all day long. If you got a cute little brunch or breakfast date, or you're hanging out with your best girlfriends, or you're just running errands with the children, whatever the case may be, and you just want something light, bright, sexy, and exotic to make you feel good. You know what I always say when I have fragrances in my collection that I don't mind sharing, coming on and sharing with you guys. Get you some. I highly recommend adding these two Britney Spears fragrances to your collection if you don't already have them. If you sprayed out on the ones that you had in your collection, ladies, go ahead and re-add these. You can probably grab both of these for way under $50. I'm sure of that. Do your research. When you do research on purchasing fragrances, you find amazing deals. You don't have to purchase knockoffs. You can get the real deal. You just have to take your time and actually do the research. But if you love fruity, floral, gourmand, exotic, sexy fragrances, get you some. This is Color Me Badland coming on just to share a couple of sexy around the house bedtime fragrances just in time for spring and maybe the beginning of summertime, depending on how much of a body heater you are. This is Color Me Badland saying thank you again for watching, you guys. Thank you for your love and support. Make sure if you like this video and you love Britney Spears fragrances, you hit that thumbs up. All right. It helps the algorithm. It helps me get out there so people can see my videos and meet me. Don't you want to share me with the world? Of course you do. Make sure you hit that notification bell so each and every time I upload a recording onto YouTube, you will be notified. And if you're not able to watch the recording right away, you can save it for later. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is Color Me Bad Lynn saying thank you guys for watching again. Peace.